Let's get into our first story. We're going to start off a little light today, lighter than usual. We're going to hop on the Republican primary debacle and the clown show that is. Ben made a really good point. Last week we were filming, and I talked about it for a little while, and he's like, that's a lot of really good analysis for a race that's already over.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but there are some important developments that I think go beyond just who's going to be the president, right?
I agree.
So here we go. We have Meatball Ron, our boy, Ronald DeSantis. He has outsourced a lot of his campaign activity to a super PAC called Never Back Down. This Never Back Down super PAC had developed a huge war chest of money and was basically designed to fuel DeSantis' campaign against Donald Trump. We covered previously that Never Back Down was also doing like canvassing operations for Ron DeSantis, and we thought that was really weird because normally super PACs don't do canvassing operations. Normally it's the campaigns that do the canvassing operations.
Yeah, the super PACs are specifically supposed to be excluded from canvassing operations because they're not supposed to be involved in campaign operations.
Right. They're never supposed to coordinate activities with the actual candidate. But we're all we know that Never Back Down was working with Ron DeSantis the whole time. Like everyone was aware of that.
Yeah.
They were calling it Ron DeSantis' super PAC. Well, now there's a legal challenge to this. The Campaign Legal Center has filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission on Monday. And they're specifically saying that Never Back Down PAC is directly coordinating with the DeSantis campaign and is looking to get them fined and shut down their operations. The guys running Never Back Down have come out and said, they're like, no, we're totally independent. We have no, we're not directly working with the Ron DeSantis. Absolutely not. That's not happening. But it's just an obvious lie.
Yeah. Which is wild. I would never have expected them to actually get punished for it.
No, me neither. It's really cool to see that the lawsuit is coming. We still have to see if they get punished, right?
Sure.
We have to see if they get punished, but it's good that the lawsuit is at least coming up.
Yeah.
So, because we don't want this to become the norm.
Exactly.
We would hate for this to become the operating procedure of how to run a presidential campaign.
Agreed. It is good that it is being enforced.
Yeah. So Ron DeSantis is in trouble, not just in legal fights, apparently, but also in the polling.
Shocker,
right? Yeah. I feel like so many people were hopeful about this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like the weeks that gone by, I could just feel everyone realizing that he's not who they thought he was.
Yeah. Well, I just think about how many times I've checked the polling averages, and every time I look back at when DeSantis first announced, or before DeSantis announced himself for the race, when he was behind Trump by maybe 3 points, 4 points in the polling averages. And it's just remarkable to me that could have been the case. I do know Republicans still think he's a great governor.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, when I watch Republican media, I see them kind of feeling bad for him and being like, just be okay with being a great governor, dude.
Yeah.
It's okay. You didn't have to push harder than that. But since he was so close in the polling, it's just been like this tumble down a mountain where Trump has been tumbling up one, right? And they're just diverging.
Oh, and it's just like, I don't know who was telling him in his ear that he's like some, Christ figure to lead the Republican Party out of Trump, and he was going to get anointed. And then he comes in and Nikki Haley seems to be basically tied with him nationally and is now wiping the floor with him in New Hampshire.
Yeah.